Today on Winning Wednesday, we're talking about how to become more productive with a whole lot less stress. Welcome to Shawn Tiberio TV, getting you quicker, faster, more profitable results in your business. Now on this channel, we focus on all areas of helping you build and scale your business. Today, we're talking about something I call the productivity blueprint. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. Okay, so what is the productivity blueprint? Well, at a simple level, the productivity blueprint is this simple, easy to follow system that not only you, but eventually, or those that already have other individuals involved in their business, you'll be able to get everybody to adapt this quickly and instantly see a rise in everybody, including yourselves, productivity. Why do you even want to consider doing this? Most entrepreneurs don't even spend the time to plan their day. Instead, they spend their time being a firefighter. Now, I don't know about you, but none of us got into this business to simply become super reactive and need to put out fires all day long, all across all areas of our business, simply because we didn't have a solid plan. With this productivity blueprint, you're simply going to be able to identify the most important tactics or the most important meetings, or maybe even the most important actions that you need to be taking right this minute, and ensure that those are getting onto your schedule or even onto other team members, other employees, onto their schedule each and every day, ensuring that you guys are knocking out the most important stuff, not just the stuff that you want to do. So how does this process even work? Well, it's super simple. We're going to simply break down everything that we have to do in our day, in our week, and even for the quarter, and put it into one of 3 different buckets. From there, we're going to plan based on the highest priority. So bucket number 1, we'll get on to plan first. Bucket 2 will then fill in, and bucket 3 will fit into any leftover time. Let's go ahead and talk about what each one of these buckets are and what goes into each one of them. Okay, so the 3 buckets or 3 categories of the productivity blueprint are simply this. Bucket number 1, or priority number 1, is what I call boulders. Now, boulders, just like the sound of it, they're the big, massive, almost impossible to move tasks. These are items that must happen. There's no getting around it, and it's sometimes some of the ones that we don't really want to spend a lot of time doing, yet we need to get them done. So we're going to identify what are the boulders in our daily, our weekly, or even our monthly or quarterly plans, and get those scheduled instantly. By putting them in and envisioning them as a boulder, it's almost impossible for us to see us moving them out of the way now in our daily or weekly plan. So some items that might fall into the category of boulders. These might be things like a weekly meeting, something super important to the business that's going to help us scale, and that's something that I don't want to miss each and every single week. It also might be other items like maybe you have a property closing today. Maybe you have a sales meeting that you need to get to. Maybe you need to make a particular phone call that you know is a super important phone call. Well, that would be a boulder for your day, because you must get that done if you know that it needed to happen today and it's something that's super important for the day. You don't want to miss that. So these are the big items that you put under your boulder category. Now, category number 2 is what I call the rocks. Now, the rocks are smaller items, but they're still super important, meaning I can move them around a little bit. They're easily adjusted. Unlike a boulder, maybe a boulder is something like I gotta pick up my kids at 4 o'clock. Well, I can't adjust and move that. A rock, though, would be maybe something like a phone call that wasn't at a scheduled time. Maybe I could call at 4 o'clock or I could call at 2 o'clock. Maybe it's times to check your emails each and every day. Instead of being glued to your computer all day long, maybe you schedule time to spend answering or receiving or scouring through your emails. Now that's important, but it's not something that has to happen at a particular time. It's got some flexibility and some adjustments. So rocks are still important. They're just not as solid, as big, as almost impossible to move as our boulders. Now the third category is the sand. And the sand is simply nothing more than the time suck. It's nothing more than actually all the fun things that we really want to be doing. Going to the beach, spending time with the family, getting out on our bike, maybe going for a walk, maybe just sitting back and relaxing a little bit and watching some of the time suck, the television, or maybe watching a movie or something like this. Even though these are things that need to fit into our day at some point, it could even be something as simple as doing laundry, doing dishes, vacuuming your home, right? These are items that have to happen, but ultimately their time sucks because they're not super productive for us in our business, even though we need to get them done for our life. So we use these sand items, to fill in around our boulders and our rocks. Maybe I've got a solid boulder on my schedule from about 8 a.m. to 11, and then I don't have another major boulder or rock on my schedule until 12. Well, between 11 and 12, I can fit in some of my sand items so that I be productive during that time, but I'm also getting some of the other stuff done. Or maybe that's the time that I spend going for a quick workout because I want to get to the gym today, but I don't really have a lot of time at the end of the day because I got another 2 or 3 major boulders and rocks that are consuming my evening with some networking events or whatever the case is. I'm going to look at those other gap times, and that's where I'm going to use the sand items to fill in. Now, once I've identified these 3 buckets, I can simply sit down and schedule out the day. So you're going to take those 3 different buckets, and then you're going to look at your day and you're going to plug in all your boulders. Then you're going to take your rock items and plug in the different rocks in some of the other available time. And then if there's any, or where there are some free moments, whether it's 15 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, it shouldn't be much more than an hour. You could have fit another major boulder or rock in there to accomplish. But if you've got maybe 30 minutes or 45 minutes between things and you want to throw some sand items in there, then throw that in. From there, instantly start to execute. Now, I would suggest you sit down and use this productivity blueprint the night before. So tonight, sit down and plan out tomorrow so that when you get up in the morning, you can simply review your plan and immediately start taking action on it. At the end of the day, tomorrow, sit down and use the same strategy, the same process to plan the next day. Thanks for watching this episode of Winning Wednesday. Now, if you found this tip of the Productivity Blueprint incredibly helpful, throw a little comment in the comment box and let me know how you're gonna use it. I'm gonna go ahead and link up a link in the show notes for this episode down in the little description box where you're gonna be able to go and download a physical copy of my Productivity Blueprint. I encourage you to go download it, read through it. Inside there's a nice chart that's going to help you start to get comfortable identifying each one of the 3 different categories and start to get them onto your daily plan. As always, share this out to somebody that you think might get some value of it, and reach out to me or connect with me on social media at Shawn Tiberio. I'd love to hear how the Productivity Blueprint is working for you and what are some of the major changes that it's allowed you to have inside of your life or inside of your business. Until next week on Winning Wednesday, keep winning each and every day.